Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome to Bones Collector. Tonight I'm going to talk about a game that I just picked up the other day called Carpe Diem. So it's by Stefan Feld, and Stefan Feld, in my opinion, is the best board game designer in the world. And I played Forum Trajanum, which also came out last year, and I'm in love with that game, folks. And I knew that this game was going to be something special, and I'm going to give you a spoiler alert. He didn't disappoint me. This game is amazing. Let me show you how it's played, coming at you right now. Okay, you guys, I'm going to show you a little bit about how Carpe Diem works. First of all, you have a main board, and on that board you have a rondel of 7 spaces. Each space has 4 tiles in it. Each player will have an avatar that they're going to move around this rondel. In the center of the rondel there are some lines, and they restrict your movement. For instance, from this space I can only go to this space or this space, and in my next turn I have 2 spaces I can go to. So it kind of restricts your movement about how you move around the rondel, and that's important because you may see a tile here that you want, so you can move there and take that tile, but then you also see a tile over here that you want, and you have to ask yourself, how do I get there after I get the first tile I want? How do I get over here to get this second tile? And that's the trick of working this rondel, is to plan 2, maybe 3 turns ahead. Because especially in a 2-player game, once 2 of these tiles are gone off one of these spaces, the other 2 are discarded. So you have to get there before that happens. So it's a real puzzle just to plan how to get the tiles you need. So that's how that rondel works. Then also on this main board, there's a bottom row here of tiles that you can get if you build one of the green buildings, which is I think it's called a craftsman building. But when you complete that, you can come down here and take one of these tiles. So that's what those are about. And then also to the left of the main board here are end game, and I think at the end of the round you score these cards. And you're trying to get those also. Complete these objectives on your player board. And this is your player board, and around your player board it has this border. You see these pieces that I put, it's like a jigsaw puzzle around your board, and there's been other games that have used this. On these borders you'll see these icons here that will have points on them that you can earn by putting tiles in a certain place on your player board, and that is another piece of the puzzle you're trying to put together. So this game is so rich like that. You have to decide how you're going to get the puzzle pieces you need to put on your player board in an order that will score you the most points. And that is a lot of fun. Up on the top of the I didn't mention this track here. This is called the banderol track, and you have 9 spaces on your board with these little banderol pieces, and once you put a tile on there it comes off and you move up this track, and those are victory points also. All the victory points are kept on cards. These end round cards that you score these goals that you score at the end of the round, you get this whole deck of cards that you're going to use, and you're only going to use so many per game. So this is a 2-player setup, and these let's see, 6, 7, 8 cards is all we're going to use for the whole game. So you can see how the game is going to change drastically every time you play it. This deck of cards are called fountain cards, and every time you build a fountain, which is this tile right here, every time you place that on your player board you're going to get a fountain card, and those give you victory points for how many fountains you build, how many craftsman buildings you build, how many ponds you build. I think that's the merchant. This is the administrator building, how many villas you complete, how many vineyards you build, bakeries and merchants. There's just a bunch of victory points cards in here. Then also you're going to get in the game, there's a player aid card, which is excellent. Tells you every time you build a building on your player board what the benefit is of that building, and you get various things. If you complete the administrator building, which is a silver building, you're going to move up 2 spaces on the banderol track. If you build a bakery, you're going to get 2 loaves of bread. If you build a merchant, you're going to be able to trade in these tokens, the chicken, fish, grape, and leaves for $1, and then plus $1. And it tells you right on your player board. Then it's a craftsman building. When you build a craftsman building, that's what allows you to take a tile from down here on the board. at the bottom of the main board, and then there's a bakery, a fountain, and a merchant that gives you $1. Now the dollars are wild cards. They can be used for anything. If you need a fish, or if it's the end of the round and you're trying to score these cards over here, and you came up short on, let's say, this card here, that you need a fish and a chicken in order to get the 3 points, then if you only got the chicken, you can use $1 as a substitute for the fish. So those are really, really important to get. And then also, when you're scoring these cards, you'll see how they come together and make circles. There's semicircles on each card. You have to put your piece, your player piece, you have extras, and you'll put it on there to say, I want to score these 2 cards. If you cannot score both those cards, you'll lose 4 points for the one that you cannot complete. So you get points for ones you do complete, and you get points subtracted for the ones you don't complete. So that's pretty cool too. Something you have to plan for those cards, and you have to plan when and how you're going to take those tiles, and then how you're going to place them on your board. And that is, my friends, is a rich, rich puzzle of this game. And the beautiful thing about it is, again, you have this whole deck of cards that's going to change dramatically the type of game you play, because these end round goals are going to be different every game. And then these pieces that go around your player board, you get a bunch of them. So and they're different. Every one of them are different. So every time you play the game, you can mix these up and randomly put them out around your player board, and it's going to change the way you have to play the game. So yeah, it's really easy. If you build a vineyard, you're going to get a grape. If you build a field, you're going to get a leaf. If you're going to build a pond on your board, you're going to get a fish. And then they have a chicken. If you build a chicken coop, you're going to get a chicken field or whatever. But those are the tokens that are in the game, and that's really all there is to this game. But it's easy to learn how to play, but the puzzle is very deep, very rich, and very fun. So yeah, that's how you play Carpe Diem. Okay, that was a little run through of Carpe Diem, which is a fabulous game. But the biggest complaint about this game, and it has some substance to it, is the production quality. And everybody's kind of upset about it. But here's what I want to say about that. This game is only about $30. And if you kick up the production quality, which would be nice, but it would drive the price up. And I think I have mixed feelings about that. Again, I'm a senior citizen, so I don't like to spend a lot of money if I don't have to. But Carpe Diem is inexpensive. It's an amazing game. It's a wonderful game. It's it's what board gaming is all about, and it's inexpensive. So Alea Games, I can understand where they're coming from by doing this, because it's an inexpensive way to make a board game, and it keeps the price of the game down, and I like that. Now, I will say this. I tricked mine out a little bit. If you notice, these coins have plastic containers around them, and the bread has plastic containers about. These are little snap-on containers that we had from our Orleans game. We bought some. Bought these to put on the tokens in Orleans, but we had some left over, so we tricked this game out a little bit like that. And then on your player board, what comes with it, the banderolls they're called, is a little tiny token that goes on your board. And I tell you what, you lose one of those, you're not on the carpet. Good luck finding it. It's tiny, and I don't know why they went with something so little. But I use these black cubes when I play. My wife came up with these. She had these in our little extra components box, so those work out real nice. These black little clear cubes, but they work out real nice. One of the biggest complaints about this game is the color on the squares. There's dark green and light green, and the colors are very, very close. If you can see that, I don't know if you could tell the difference between that, but you see what I've done. I've taken all the dark green tiles and I put a little sticker on them. We had them laying around. My wife keeps extra components in a box, and we came up with these and was able to put these on all the dark green tiles so that we can tell them apart. But yeah, I don't know where that decision came from. That was pretty goofy. The only thing I wish Alea had done was made the main board a little thicker. It's not very thick at all, and it doesn't lay flat, and I do have a problem with that. But other than that, I thought the game was adequate. I wouldn't. It's nothing that I would rave about as far as production, but I will rave about the game, and that's the most important thing. Is the game is a game that you will play the rest of your life. It's so good. It's so rich. The complexity of the game rules are simple, but the complexity of the game is very deep. And those, I tell you, that's what makes a wonderful board game for me and my wife. We love to play these kinds of games. We've played it twice, and we'd be playing it right now if I wasn't making this video. She's so excited to play this game again. It is so much fun. You just want to do it over and over and over again. And that, folks, is why Stefan Feld is #1 in the world. And hey, that's the quality of the game. It is what it is. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like the video. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below the video. I'll promise I'll answer every one of them. I love all 95 of my subscribers. I love you guys. Thank you very much for subscribing. And keep watching. I'll get another video out as soon as I possibly can. Have a great night.